Hey, welcome back, everyone. Well, we had a 2 week break. Hopefully, everyone's still healthy and happy. It's Dr. Allen. We're going to kind of talk about a few things this week related to social media and the classroom and technology. We're going to be a little bit all over the place today, only because I'm trying to bring in a few things that we didn't get to do last week, just at least one thing. So, I'm going to you're going to have some options this week as far as what you want to do to meet your technology requirement. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what we're going to do this week, and hopefully it'll make some sense. I'm going to try to do this all in one take. By the way, I am wearing my National Geographic bee because this was supposed to be at Shepherd this week. Actually, the week of, I'm recording this on the 23rd. It got canceled along with other things, so I thought I'd do a little support if you're a social studies fair or social studies person. But enough with me babbling. Let's just go ahead and dive into the week. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen here with you and get a little high tech with you. Hopefully. Hopefully, in a minute here, you will see. Ah, this week we're going to be talking about social media and some of the substitute things that you can do with this. There is a discussion board topic up for this week related to social media and how it relates to schools. I don't think I need to get into this too much because I have a feeling everyone kind of knows the various forms of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest. The way I'm going to kind of look at this week, though, I'm going to kind of focus on how we can use these things in the classroom. But in this lecture, I am going to kind of jump back and forth about ways you can maybe be able to use it as a classroom management tool, not behavioral, but just organization, I guess, classroom communication tool. Of course, school districts and all use these, but let me just run down them really quick. Twitter, I don't know. I am a big Twitter user. I don't really tweet much, but I do follow a lot of information. I'm going to show you a Twitter activity that you can do in your classrooms. I will say this, though. If you're looking to find great ideas for lessons, classroom management, anything educational, I would get a Twitter account, mainly just to follow people in your field because sometimes they do put links up to some really good things. Also, of course, when you all get hired, your school district's going to have Twitter accounts. And a lot of teachers actually like to have Twitter accounts to share information with their students and families. And usually the Board of Education, wherever you are, I know Berkeley County does this, they of course retweet teacher tweets. So Twitter. Facebook, I think hopefully everyone's familiar with Facebook. Kind of the same thing as Twitter, except for more of just a slower paced one. Information doesn't get thrown up there quite as fast. More of almost like a scrapbooking type social media. My son says it's for old people. I have it. I use it. But hopefully you have one too. If you do, again, same thing. Follow people that you're related to. I'm a social studies person. I follow tons of social studies education groups on Facebook. Get a lot of good ideas that I use in the classroom from those groups. Of course, what's the saying? Good teachers steal. Twitter and Facebook let you have opportunities to do that. Instagram, same thing. You can get ideas. Instagram's great for sharing your work too. I know a lot of art teachers. A fantastic art teacher that I worked with most recently, she had an Instagram account and she always posted up student work. I know we have a lot of students in this class or participants, whatever you want to do, that are going to be art teachers. I would maybe think about getting an Instagram account and sharing your work. Snapchat, I am not someone who uses Snapchat a lot, but again, I believe it's along the lines of Instagram. And of course, Pinterest, I just put it on there mostly because it's one of those things where a lot of teachers like to post their work, ideas, things like that. I would check out Pinterest if you want to look for some lesson plans or project ideas. So those are all different things as far as tools to get information to be a better teacher. Around, I'll say better teacher, at least have more tools in your toolbox type thing. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest. I would strongly recommend getting Twitter, at least just to follow things on the account. Now, I've never tweeted in my life, but like I say, I get tons of information from it. Pinterest is another one. I know a lot of my coworkers used to really love Pinterest. So those are some types of social media. Now, what we're going to be doing, I'm just going to kind of share this a little bit. It's going to be a little clunky, so bear with me. But one thing I used to do in my classrooms, obviously, I don't think you can have students create a Facebook account. I said what I was talking about a minute ago was Facebook to get information to expand your toolbox. I also would use Facebook as a tool in my classroom in terms of being creative. One thing that you're going to have the option to do this week is something called Farcebook. Now, it's a little clunky to do at first. I think it's pretty fun. My students used to really like it. Farcebook is something where you can pay for the Farcebook accounts. It's through a group called Teacher Discovery. And I did have my school buy those accounts one time. It cost, I think, $40 for like 50. I think I'm right on that. But then I started to find out there are some really wonderful people that started to make Word templates on their own. And I started to use those in my classrooms, and they worked really well. I'll show you what they are here in a second. But to me, Farcebook kind of goes a lot of different disciplines. It can really get into English. Social studies, I used it a lot. Science, of course, if you're researching, I think famous scientists. Math, same thing. Also, you can grade on the tech, citing of information, the grammar, things like that. This is what a Farcebook looks like. If I can get my mouse up here. Where's my mouse? Whoops. Let's see if we can get it out there. There we go. If you look there, hopefully you can see that. That was my Farcebook that I created on Henry Clay. And as you can see here, what I would do, it was a template. It says Farcebook. Students had to find imagery. I did ask them to give me a works cited page at the end. And they would do things like, they had to do a bio. They had to find me 2 quotes that might be associated with that person. They had to be creative and find their activities. Now, here's the thing about this. This is where I think it's kind of fun. I didn't make students, favorite song, I don't know what Henry Clay's favorite song is, but he was from Kentucky, so I put Henry Clay's favorite song is my old Kentucky home, the Remix Club version, which is a very good song. I don't know if there is one. Also, they had to research people that he was associated with. There's some, just general information about him, his political views, quotes. And if you look, I'm sorry not to jump out here. I keep going to the big screen here. There we go. If you look, you also go to a second page. They have to roll down here and put different quotes from those people up here. The friends also had to post on their wall, so to speak. And they just had to find things that they might say historically. I did have a rubric. If anyone is interested in using this, I will share my rubric. If I'm on the ball, I'll just post it up on Sakai. But you see, I have references to Rachel, his wife. Henry Clay was called the Great Compromiser. So I used to let my students have one funny one per thing, and I put Pepto-Bismol, the Great Compromiser. Just to give you a really quick funny story, I had a student one time. He wasn't listening to directions actually, but he did one on Nathaniel Bacon. It was a West Virginia Studies class. He put nothing but products like, since the guy's last name was Bacon, he had ham, he had hamburger, he had Ronald McDonald. He had to redo the assignment, but he got a little silly with it. But I think this is a fun one that you can do. Again, I do know that it kind of leads itself a little more to English and social studies, but I think if you're doing research on specific figures, you could definitely do it. Art, I don't know how much it would connect to art. I'm sure there are ways that you could do it unless you were doing a research on a famous artist. Same way with PE. I guess if you did it on someone, a famous athlete, if you had to do some research requirements within your class. But again, Farcebook. I will post this template. This is one of the options that you have this week, is to complete this. And if you look, the template will be posted. All you do is type in over everything. You just cut and paste and post everything in there. This isn't the actual electronic site on the internet. I decided to do the document. So it is a little bit tedious. But once you get the hang of it, I think you will have it. The other reason why I thought it would be good for you to do this, even if you never do Farcebook again, and it's the Twitter assignment's kind of the same way, I think you will find sometimes it's not knowing how to use the tech. It's finding ways to communicate how to get students to use the technology. And what I mean by that, I think you're going to find that a lot of students that you're going to have in the classroom, they're very awesome at Xbox, PlayStation, using their phones. They're not always as strong using things like Word, Google Apps type things, PowerPoint. So it's good to run through and do the technology first, or the assignments first, before you actually have your students do it, so you can kind of troubleshoot when they do have problems. Because a lot of times it's not the research that's the problem, it's getting them to do these. I'll say whenever my students finish, they always looked awesome. Here was one that one student did. This was one on Urban II. He was the guy who launched the Crusades. It was a 10th grade class. And he kind of had a bunch of stuff related there. And I believe he had some funny stuff there. Oh, you see, he had the Notre Dame Tailgate Club, because the Pope's Catholic and Notre Dame's a Catholic school. And then, of course, you can see there's a bunch of quotes. I thought there was something that I really liked on here because I liked the movie. Oh, favorite movies, Passion of the Christ, of course. And he liked Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade because he launched the Crusades. And as you can see, he had different things. You can tell this is a little dated. He had Urban Meyer, who was the head coach at Ohio State at the time. He said, maybe you can make a pilgrimage like they made a pilgrimage to Jerusalem to come to Columbus. But anyway, this is Farce Book. You can definitely do this one if you would like to try it. It's, like I say, it's a little bit of trial and error, and you may, after about 5 minutes, be ready to throw your computer across the room until you get used to how it kind of works. I think you can figure it out pretty quickly, though. So, Farce Book, you have that opportunity. So Facebook, one, it's a great little tool that you can do in your class to kind of gather information for your students. And the real Facebook, you can actually start to get some information on your own as far as getting ideas in the classroom. It's kind of twofold. So Farce Book, let me X out of that one. X out of that one. There's the template. I will have this posted this week. The next one here, let's see, whoops, play. Twitter, same thing. I kind of mentioned the pluses if you're going to do it as an administrative or organization or information finding tool. It's a great communicator with students and families if you have one. You can do a lot of information sharing and information gathering. You can share information from your classrooms. You can also share information with other teachers. You can also, get your ideas out there. Of course, be careful. Twitter also, it can be a cesspool and things can be misinterpreted. So if you're a very politically active person, that's awesome. But just make sure that whatever you put on there, people can see, unless you do it as a private account, which I don't know if you would do that if you're using it for your classrooms, or you could set them up. But anyway, for our purposes in this class, I'm thinking about it as a classroom tool as far as how you could use it in the classroom. I have actually seen someone one time, and I thought this was awesome. If you were really gutsy and wanted to do this, I would let you. I don't have directions on this, but I can explain it right now. I had someone I worked with who one time set up a Twitter account for Abraham Lincoln, and his students actually had to tweet questions to Lincoln, and he answered them as Lincoln, or how he thought Lincoln would. That was their assignment. They had to tweet questions to Abe Lincoln, and he responded. I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm asking you to do is kind of along the same lines as with the Farce Book one. If you want to create a Twitter site for your students, again, it's just an exercise I think you could have your students do. This is one that was done on Shakespeare, and they just set it up like a Twitter account, and they had just some things where Shakespeare was tweeting back to different people his viewpoints, and you can see things that might be associated with Shakespeare. I'm going to put, same thing as with the Farce Book, I'm going to put 2 templates up. I'm actually going to put this one up. Some of my students I found liked using this one because what they would do is they would just click right here over Shakespeare. They would cut that picture out and put their own in, cut that background out, put their own in, and just kind of follow this. But if you don't like that, I can go this route. And we can just go with this base level one where you have your username and you can just kind of put there. I would ask that you have at least 5 to 6 tweets on there related to the person you would like to do. And again, I think you can be creative with this. English, art. If you want to do something from any of your disciplines, just have someone famous and tweet them on there. Think about how you would like your students to do it, or if you would do it with your students. Again, I know this probably doesn't lend itself quite as strong to physical education, maybe not art, but if you're doing research, I think you can use it. But don't worry, physical education and art students, I have not forgotten about you as far as another assignment. So anyway, that's the Twitter template. You are welcome to do it. Two other things you have the option to do. You can do the Farce Book, you can do the Twitter, or you can try Seesaw or Flipgrid. Flipgrid was actually due this week that I'm recording this, but this is the week that we kind of had exempt. These are response systems, that should say systems, to teacher questions. Long story short, a teacher on one end poses a question and students can film themselves answering it or responding actively to the question, and they record that, or they type it and they send it back to the teacher. A lot of elementary schools like Seesaw a lot. Flipgrid is also very popular. I've seen a lot of middle schools and high schools do it. So instead of me kind of rambling about them, I actually have two short videos I'm going to show you just to kind of give you an idea of what both do. Now let me see if I can find it. Oh, you see that one? It says, what is Seesaw? We're going to find out. It's a 2-minute video, so hang in there.
Seesaw is a portfolio that your student will use to showcase what they're learning and doing at school and share that with you, their family. They'll add photos, videos, drawings, voice recordings, notes, and much more to their learning journal. And you'll be able to see their amazing work right on your phone or computer whenever they post something new. Students love Seesaw because they're able to show what they know with lots of different tools and share their work with meaningful audiences, all while practicing those super important 21st century skills. Teachers love Seesaw because they're able to gain insights from all of their students, see student growth, and have all that classwork organized in one place. Parents love Seesaw because they can be closer to the classroom without being there every day and really understand how their student is doing. Teachers and parents are always in control of how student information is shared. Once you've connected to your child's account using the special invite code or link from your child's teacher, you can view all of their posted work. You'll only see your own child's work and messages that your teacher sends home. When something new is added, you'll get a notification. You can decide if you want notifications via email, push, or text message. Notifications can come each time something new is added or just once a day. You choose the settings you prefer. Once you follow the Seesaw notification, you can see what's going on in the classroom in real time. Teachers can also turn on options for you to like and comment on your child's work to encourage their learning. Remember, the best comments help us learn something new. Things like, wow, you did a great job because, have you considered? Interesting, this made me think of, I'm proud of you because, are great conversation starters. We're all learning together how to communicate and be our best selves online. You can leave a text comment or even a voice comment. Voice comments are perfect for younger learners. Seesaw takes your and your child's privacy seriously. We understand that you're trusting us to protect your child's information, and we promise to provide a service that keeps students safe. You can learn more on our website at web.seesaw.me/privacy.
So there you go. There's a little bit of Seesaw. One reason I put Seesaw on here, and if you notice, it's not on the syllabus, but this is one of these impromptu things. Well, let me rephrase that. It wasn't on the original syllabus. And the reason why was I had seen it mentioned. I hadn't actually seen it in action before, but I noticed with everything that's going on right now related to distance learning and the virus and such, a lot of elementary school teachers are using Seesaw, and I know we have a lot of elementary candidates that are in the class right now. So you might want to take a peek at Seesaw. Actually, it was recommended to me by a friend I have that teaches in Frederick County, Virginia. She says they use Seesaw a good bit. I'm actually been kind of messing around with it. Your assignment for Seesaw for me would be just to create your account, create a quick assignment, and just send me it to answer or kind of give you a response. I would definitely try to give you a definite response, and you can comment back if you want. But that's Seesaw. And like I say, if you choose not to do the Forest Book or the Twitter like templates, you can definitely do Seesaw, give it a shot. I think it would be very timely in what's going on right now. And of course, who knows, maybe something like this would happen again, or a blizzard. Seesaw kind of gives you some of that opportunity. And with that being said, we have another one that's along a very similar line, Flipgrid, which was originally on our syllabus for last week, last week, the week of the 23rd. I'm all thrown off. I'm going to show you really quick what Flipgrid is. It's kind of the same thing as Seesaw, but a little more streamlined. And I think Flipgrid is actually used outside of education, a lot of organizations look at it. Because if you look, some of these people look like they're not in 5th grade on this sample video I'm going to give you. But here you go. And this is a lady who put this together. I thought it was actually kind of gave us a nice overview. So this is Flipgrid.
Hi there, folks. I'm here to share one of my favorite tools for capturing student voice, which is Flipgrid. Flipgrid is an awesome, cool video response option. You pose your question, and then individuals are able to record their answers, and they're limited to 1 minute and 30 seconds. Really easy and available across platforms. It works both on the web as well as on Android and Apple devices. So if you're on the Flipgrid site, just sign up for a free account. They have a free account option now, which is awesome. You can upgrade as well as you go along. And once you're in the dashboard, you're going to see that you have your grids. A free account lets you have one grid. You can always upgrade to have several grids. And then within that grid, you can have as many topics or conversations as you want. Now you can share the whole grid if it was a novel study you're exploring, or even an area of math that you want to capture their thinking of. For this one, we're just getting ready for a book chat. You can see I have 2 questions. If you want to add a new one, just click on the plus sign, and you see you can quickly add in your topics. You can record your question or add a text question, and then you have all your controls on the bottom. Once your question has been set up, you can click on your question, and you're going to see here you have a code. That code is how students would join your question from online or with the app. They don't require an account with Flipgrid to actually respond. So if we go to our introductions here, I'm going to go to the topic. So I see the full grid just like the kids would, and I can just click on that green plus sign to add my response. I see that the question is there on, and I can't get this to work. I'm not very, there we go. The question's on the side. So I have that there as I'm chatting, and it's gonna count down for me as we're recording, so I know when my time's gonna run out. And I can say, hey folks, and then check and see if I'm happy. Because if not, I can re-record. If I like it, I'm gonna snap a thumbnail. That is not a good one, we'll do it again. Oh my goodness, even worse, but we're going with it. And that's it. It starts uploading our video. But the really nice thing I like that they've added is that the email address now is optional. So really for our K-8 friends, a lot easier for us to have them access the resource. Submit my video, and that's it. It's part of my collection there. And that's Flipgrid in a few minutes.
There you go. Sorry, I was so entranced. I almost forgot to come back in there. Let's see. Uh-oh. I need to, there we go. Let's get out of there, Flipgrid. Wow, that's very dramatic there. More Flipgrid videos. All right, that's Flipgrid. So for this week, just to kind of, oh, there's Zoom. That's next week, sorry. Let me get our PowerPoint back up there. Haha, there you go. So for this week, what I want you to do, I'm gonna pop this up here and make it a full screen for you. Oh, there's one other thing, but I'll come back to that here in a second. All right, you need to do something related to social media, Farcebook, Twitter, and I'll come back to it. I almost forgot. You could also do, there are meme makers that are all over the internet that you could use from historical. I always think about them for social studies. I got to get out of that habit. But you could use them in your class if you wanted to try some. I've seen a lot of elementary or 4th, 5th grades do memes. You can do any of those. Let me just go ahead before I delve into the next part, just to show you that real quick. There are meme generators. Here's one. I will put the links up there, but they do different things. There's also templates, again, like what's on there, but oh, where is my nice historical one that I had? I liked it a lot. I must have accidentally closed out the window. Give me 1 second and I will pull it up for you. Here we go. And let me come back out. Sorry about that. I had to step out to get my meme maker. I accidentally closed it out. But if you wanted to do a meme instead of a Farcebook, instead of a Twitter, instead of a Flipgrid or Seesaw, you could do some of the classroom meme generators, which they're just, this one has one where you just put it related to the class. I would want you to do one that's related to your field. So again, it would be social studies. I have some social studies examples. I will throw them up there. I apologize. I thought I had saved them on my desktop, but I guess I did not. They must be in my one at work. I will put them up there. But if you do the meme generator, that's pretty easy. I would like you to download at least 3 of those to send to me. Again, I think that lends itself more to research type things, social studies, English. But again, if they're doing, I guess, research in a class, you are welcome to do it. With all that being said, I'm babbling a little bit. Let me go back here. With all that being said, whoops, I didn't even share that screen. Oh. Hey, sorry about that. I had to step out and I just realized I didn't even share it with you, did I? So here we go. Look at that. Now we're back. This is the meme generator. And as I just said, sorry, I didn't share it. I'd want you to do 2 or 3 of these, and there's actually templates that you could also use, and I'll put some online. A lot of them are related to historical figures or research people, so even if you were in a science class and you were doing one and you were doing something on Galileo, you might have a little meme on there. Some students really think they're fun. I think they're a little bit low tech, but I mean, you're there for 180 days. Sorry about that. That was a little bit of an off-kilter moment, but with all that being said, let's jump back to the assignment itself. And here you go. Sorry about that. All right. Farcebook, Twitter, and memes. You can pick any of those to do. Again, if you're doing the memes, I would like to do at least 3, but you can use the Farcebook template, make your own Farcebook, and share it with me on Sakai. You can do a Twitter, and you can do the Twitter template, share it with me on Sakai. If you do the memes, you need to do 3. You need to share those with me. Or, and this is where I was kind of thinking about our art and PE and things like that. If you would like to try Seesaw or Flipgrid, you are welcome to. Just create an account, go in there and send me an assignment and I will complete it for you. And I look forward to your results. But that's this week with social media. Sorry about that last 2 minutes. I totally forgot about the memes, and hopefully when I paused it, you didn't see me do this. But if you did, we'll live. So this week, Farcebook, Twitter, or memes. If you choose not to do any of those templates, you can do the optional assignment, and that's Seesaw or Flipgrid. There is a discussion board topic up related to social media and whether you should use it in the classroom. And also there is a blog this week on whether you would use any of this in the classroom. And again, that's up to you. None of this will hurt my feelings if you would or would not. Just trying out different things in this classroom or this class. So that's enough of me. I've kind of babbled along here at the end. Hope you're all staying safe and have a good week. Talk to you later. Bye. Now bye.